The International Monetary Fund has confirmed that its mission will visit Pakistan this month to discuss a new program as Islamabad begins its annual budget-making process for the next financial year. Pakistan recently completed a short-term $3 billion program aimed at avoiding sovereign default. However, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's government emphasizes the need for a longer-term program. The IMF stated that the mission will discuss the FY25 budget, policies, and reforms under a potential new program. The exact dates and details of the visit are yet to be specified. The IMF emphasizes the importance of accelerating reforms and notes that the size of the program will be guided by the package of reform and balance of payments needs. Pakistan's economy, valued at $350 billion, has stabilized, with inflation decreasing to around 17% in April from a high of 38% last May. Despite progress, the government faces challenges such as a high fiscal shortfall and stagnant growth. Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb stated that Pakistan aims to finalize the details of a new IMF loan in May. Pakistan is expected to seek at least $6 billion and additional financing from the fund under the Resilience and Sustainability Trust. In other news, Foreign Minister 𝐒𝐿𝐴 expressed Pakistan's support for Palestine's admission as a full member of the UN and the resumption of the peace process for the establishment of a Palestinian state on pre-1967 borders. Also Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister, attended the 15th Organization of Islamic Cooperation Summit in Banjul, the Gambia, where he conveyed Pakistan's stance. During the summit, held bilateral meetings with dignitaries from member countries, discussing various issues including bilateral cooperation and mutual interests. Pakistan and China reaffirmed their commitment to enhance cooperation on China-Pakistan economic corridor projects during a meeting between Foreign Minister 𝐒𝐿𝐴 and Zhang Jianbang, the vice chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of China. Both sides emphasized the importance of strengthening economic ties and reiterated their strategic cooperative partnership. They also highlighted the deepening exchanges between the Parliament of Pakistan and the National People's Congress of China. Also discussed China's relations with the OIC and held separate meetings with Turkish and Azerbaijani foreign ministers to explore cooperation in trade, connectivity, and climate change. U.S. President Joe Biden's administration halted a shipment of American-manufactured ammunition bound for Israel last week, U.S. media outlet Axios has reported, citing unnamed Israeli officials. According to Axios, this is the first time since the war on Gaza began last October that the United States has prevented a weapons shipment to the Israeli army. Al Jazeera Arabic reports Israeli attacks on areas north of the Nuseirat refugee camp in central Gaza and the entrance to the town of 𝐒𝐭𝐲𝐬. These bombings come in the wake of an attack on Rafah that left at least 3 Palestinians wounded. At least 34,683 Palestinians have been killed and 78,018 wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7th. The current round of ceasefire talks in Cairo has concluded, with Hamas announcing that its negotiating team will depart for Doha this evening after 2 days of meetings. Hamas emphasizes its commitment to reaching a comprehensive ceasefire, blaming Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu for hindering negotiations. Amidst the negotiations, there was a stark contrast in demands. Israel insists on an initial 40-day truce in exchange for captives, while Hamas seeks an end to the war and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. Israeli Premier Benjamin Netanyahu has said again that Israel's aim since the start of the war has been to disarm and dismantle Hamas, and he's going to go into Rafah to do that. Despite efforts from mediators, including teams from Qatar, Egypt, and the US, the Israelis have not sent a delegation to Cairo, indicating a dwindling window of opportunity for a truce. French President Emmanuel Macron has urged Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to reach a truce deal, emphasizing the importance of protecting civilians and achieving regional de-escalation. However, within Israel, voices of urgency push for action. Israel's far-right National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir urged Netanyahu to go to Rafah now, while warnings from aid agencies and nations highlight the catastrophic consequences of a ground assault on the city. Al Jazeera Media Network condemned Israel's decision to close its operations in the country, labeling it a criminal act and a violation of international law. The move comes after Israel's parliament passed a law allowing the closure of foreign broadcasters deemed a threat to national security during the conflict in Gaza. Despite external pressures, diplomatic sources reveal that Qatar remains committed to its role as a mediator between Hamas and Israel. Qatar asserts its neutrality and underscores the importance of respecting its mediation efforts amidst escalating tensions in the region.